All right. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, everybody. Um, Super excited for having everyone in here. We're finally up to the full cast like we want to have from the beginning. So now we're actually more full than I had planned, but I'm so excited to have everyone here. So we're now at 6 people, 5 players and a GM. Um, but welcome to Claim the Stars. This is our Savage Worlds sci-fi adventure. Um, this is a story about humanity set in the late 28th century. All our well, 3 of our players currently are all crew aboard a all crew aboard a vessel of their own and working humanitarian aid uh, for a nonprofit organization called Astra Unum, and they're going to meet the 2 other players here shortly. And but you can also find the first episode we did over at the YouTube page, also in the collections on Twitch. And but we also had a wonderful time playing that one last week. But anyways, so the players have now made it to Takis 3, and I think last episode we kind of left it at an interesting scene where they kind of learned a little bit about what this planet is and what the circumstances of this world and its plight, and what this world is and what it has to offer. But we're going to kind of go around and introduce all the players and their characters, and then I'll jump into the specifics of like scenes and stuff. So first, we'll start with Jeremy, and then we'll kind of go down. So Jeremy, just tell everybody who you're playing.
Hey, I'm playing Levi Roosevelt, kind of a cowboy-esque pilot, good at shooting, good at hopefully sharp wit, and being grumpy sometimes. And I like armor. That's sort of the thing. Some guys like to fiddle with old cars. He likes to fiddle with armor.
Nice, nice. Actually, when he got out of the ship, is he coming out donning his armor right now?
Um, sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Let's just do that.
Was he like I don't know this planet and like wary?
Yeah, a little bit of that, and a little bit of like we just got attacked coming into the system, and so he's all on edge.
Right, right. Gotcha. Okay, and now we have one of our new players. So we got Cliff down below us. Cliff, you can also find him over at his own channel. Uh, Why don't you tell us where they can find you at, and then also just drop into the spiel about who you're playing.
Sure, thank you. So I run a channel called Quests and Cliffhangers, and I am on Twitch/Quests and Cliffhangers. My character is going to be Sir Ashton Charles Hatcher Courtney, heir to the Brax Courtney future. He is a posh son of an aristocrat, rich boy with a temper, superiority complex, riddled with insecurities and an itchy trigger finger.
Nice. Okay, very cool. And I'll actually have to talk to you later about the Sir part. So I actually
It's
thought
not recognized outside of his own area,
right,
but
right,
he holds a claim to it.
right. What origin world did you pick?
Islar.
Ilar. Okay, yeah, got you.
Ilar.
Okay.
Ilar. I gotta write that
Okay.
down to pronounce that right.
All right, cool. And that's where you were. It's where you were, and that basically means that you were born there. Not what doesn't necessarily mean you're born there, but it means that you spent a great deal of your time there, or
Yes.
at least born that a variation of it, but at least a huge part of your history is there.
Correct.
We can
Yep.
define that later, but I actually thought you ended up picking the wealthy background as opposed to the royal background or noble background. But
it's not a noble. Like I said, the title is not an official thing. This is more what he calls himself as part of his illusion.
Okay.
The illusion of grandeur that he projects to others
Gotcha.
that he tries to fool them into.
Oh, so he's not actually knighted.
Correct.
Because you can actually be knighted and be certain in this game. Okay, because there is actually
he's not actually knighted. This is just what he's going to tell everybody his full thing is.
Okay, don't be surprised if people assume that you're Bruxian. So if you hear the phrase Bruxian thrown your way a lot, don't be surprised if people assume you're Bruxian. Okay, and so I'm going to throw it over to Matt. Why don't you tell everybody who you're playing real quick? I'm going to just slip off real quick and see if I can get my wife to turn the TV down a little bit because I can hear Mickey Mouse in the background on the mic. So, Matt, tell everybody who you're playing.
I am playing Arthur Haeckel. He is a young scientist. He likes to have a plan for things before running in, but his curiosity often gets the better of him. He's from Palisadia. He had to run when the rest of his family was kind of thrown under the bus by the corporation there that was manipulating the population in ways it should not have been.
Right on. Yes, and did you mention your sister? Because just remember that's going to come up here soon as well.
I don't remember what we ended up deciding about her.
I believe I think you kind of left it to me exactly what happened, but she got out with you, and she's currently working with Astra Unum.
Okay.
And Jason, why don't you tell everybody who you're playing?
My name is Jack Breach. I used to be a doctor for those bastards at Riskava. They cast me out because I thought I botched a surgery, and I was framed. Now I'm surrounded by shitheads, smugglers, criminals, and I just want a way out. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. I like that one.
Very cool. I like it. All right. Sounds like it might start hurting the throat after a while, but drink plenty of water on stream. All right. Very cool. All right. So, Shaun, why don't you tell us who you're playing?
So I am playing Spencer Witt. He is a 14-year-old kid who is on the run from the Tanu Klava, which is a criminal organization he used to work for when they found out that he had the ability to read minds, which is a somewhat rare psionic ability. So criminal organization definitely used him for those purposes, but he was able to escape and stow away on the party ship in order to get free from the criminal sort of underworld. The trick is you got to stay away.
Yeah. Yep. And you're only one system away right now from Ilar at the moment. So, and
part of him escaping was he was able to turn in a bunch of former criminals, and if they know he's alive, they would definitely want him.
Yep. All right, cool. And so actually we're going to begin briefly on Aston. Okay, so Aston, your family is wealthy, correct? And they do business here on Takis 3, right? And that's why you're here to begin with, because you were doing business for your family, correct?
Correct.
All right. And we'll say that you were kind of maybe you were here trying to scramble to, with all the political tensions and the war kind of escalated in the last 6 months and all this kind of stuff. And you're representing your family, which come from Ilar, but all this will affect your family. And you were here to negotiate further new contracts for your family, okay? And I'm going to give you some new information about your family. The reason why you had to get a contract vessel is because recently things have not been so great financially for your family. Because they don't have the money anymore to maintain their own ships as well as they used to. They used to have a larger fleet of their own vessels. And they don't now. But you came here on a contract vessel and to renegotiate new contracts. And for your family, this war between Ganavi and Takis was a wonderful opportunity because you're from Ilar and you were like, your family was like, ooh, this is good because they'll have to get stuff from us, from Ilar, right? And maybe even they might even need to become annexed by Ilar, right? They just declared independence. But what happened instead was your ship got mistaken for a Takis Defense Force vessel, got damaged, you got here, and then your pilot had a severe allergic reaction to the grubs. Just being in vicinity of all these grub farms, just the smell of them in the air and just the fumes of their shit. I mean, just a severe allergic reaction. All right, so now you're actually grounded. All right, and so we're going to jump ahead to a real quick scene where we're going to jump ahead to a scene where you're speaking to a businessman, and we'll say his name is Maris. Mr. Maris. And your family was supposed to sign a major contract with him. And the first thing he opens up with and he says, I have friends in Ilar. I know your family's suffering. I know you didn't fly in on your own ship.
I think suffering is a bit harsh. We are at an impasse right now, but we always bounce back. The Courtneys have been around for as long as anyone can remember, we always bounce back. And all we need is give us the chance to prove to you the strength of our family. If we can get this contract going with your blessing, Mr. Marith, I assure you that you'll see that the return of the investment here will be exponentially greater than what it is up front.
All right, so now we're going to have our first trait roll for the night. Okay, so now we're going to talk to the new players about how to make dice rolls. Okay, so that was a convincing argument. However, he does actually have people that he knows in Ilar. So I'm going to say those two things counterbalance each other. So you'll make the roll at no penalty. But how trait rolls work is that when you roll, you're going to have a trait die, which is your skill or attribute, and a wild die. But the game will do the wild die for you. And so all you'll do is take the die that I tell you to roll, skill I tell you to roll, or the attribute I tell you to roll, and just pick it and double-click it or drag it over the chat log. In this case, it'll be persuasion. So why don't you roll persuasion for me at no penalty? All right. He says, got to the end of the month. I want evidence that you can provide me with the numbers we need.
That will absolutely not be a problem. And I appreciate you doing this as a favor for the family. And it means a lot, and I will make sure that when I report back to my father that I let him know of the hospitality and the graciousness of everyone here.
Question is how do you plan to get back to Ilar in a month?
Well, see, that I'm still working on.
Well,
I
my assistant will draw up the contract.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I will not bore you with any of the details, but thank you, and I appreciate it.
All right. We see you. We see the doors open up, and then you're outside in the gray safari landscape, and then you're hit with the smell of the grubs, the horrible smell of the grubs, and you hear the chittering of the grubs mixed with the whizzing sound of the drones overhead, and then off in the distance, you see a new ship, a ship that's shaped like an arrowhead, and coming into the atmosphere, breaking into the atmosphere right now.
And as I'm walking outside, as soon as I get out of earshot from him, I'm like, pompous, overpaid tool. You want me off this planet? I can't wait to get out of here. This smell is disgusting, and
it is disgusting. All right,
and he looks and sees the ship, and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Courtney, it appears your luck has changed." And he kind of straightens out his suit and adjusts his posture, and he waits for the vessel to land and begin to depart.
All right. Okay. And so, Jack Breach, you've already found a friend to help you find a way off. And that friend is an individual named Mary Jo Stockton. And so we're going to jump ahead to the players, the 3 players who were already. So Spencer, did you, after that whole thing with the bugs falling down on that man, did you go back to the ship, or did you go with them to get food?
He probably would have gone with them to get food.
Okay. All right.
Just he doesn't want to be eating any more ship rations.
Okay. All right. So you guys were hoofing it. All right. And so we see you guys walking across the dusky field with two of these massive football field long concrete pits flanking either side of you, around you. And as I said, you can hear the chittering coming from them. And we actually see the camera kind of zoom in to a 6-inch long insect with the rear portion of its the hind like kind of bloated and slimy like a slug, kind of the very tip of it dragging across and leaving a slime trail just like across the ground as it crawls its way out of one of the concrete pits. It looks like it struggled and struggled and struggled for a very long time, and it just kind of like starts making its way across the dusky ground, and it starts just kind of like coming across in front of we'll say that whoever has the highest notice of you 3. Let's see.
Probably not me.
So we'll say Arthur. Actually, it comes across the ground in front of you. What do you do? It's coming across
Arthur
the ground
is,
towards you. Just kind of like it looks.
I mean, it's just like crawling, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's not even going towards you. It looks like it's kind of just like it looks like it's actually going to a UTV for cover nearby.
Okay. Arthur is definitely going to. He's not going to touch it, but he's definitely going to stop and take a closer look at it.
All right, you all see him stop, and you're all kind of walking together, and there's like this 6-inch insect that's just kind of like looks like it's trying to sneak across the walking path. And you're all thinking, like, this one insect made it out of the pit.
Would there be anything Arthur could roll to, like science to see if he recognizes anything, knows anything about the insect from seeing it?
Sure. Sure, you can You can make a science roll.
Okay.
Is there anything in particular you want to know about it?
No, I mean, he noticed that people kind of freaked out when they were dropped, and they're making proteins of some sort from this.
Yeah, I mean they're a food source. They do have mandibles and they do bite. So if you reach down and try to pick it up, it will probably bite you.
He's not going to.
Yeah, they're definitely vicious creatures. They're very defensive, protective. You're very surprised they got out of the pit. You no doubt believe they probably make defensive measures to make it hard for them to get out of the pits. But this one managed. This is the little engine that could. But
could Arthur have like sample jars? I didn't.
Sure.
Or containers, because I think he would want to take it and put it in one.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'll say though you have to make an agility roll though, because he's not gonna want to get he's not gonna want to try to get put in a jar, and he's a 6-inch long insect, so he's gonna start trying to bite you as soon as you get down there. Okay. Yeah. So what are you guys doing while he's doing this? You just gonna stand there and watch him try to put this like 6-inch long insect into a jar?
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
This is what they're using to create these the proteins, their food. This is their food source. I want to know more.
No, this is the proteins.
Oh, yes. This is what they're eating here, apparently.
No,
So just kick it back in the pit and let's go get some real food.
Yeah.
All right, so you collect the insect and you snap the jar lid on, and I guess you pocket it somewhere on your person, and
Yes.
And so someone like pats the back of the UTV, and you hear that thumping of metallic sound, and he says, "It's quite a long walk to Mary Jo's. You want to hop on here with me? I'll drive you out there."
Yes.
He says, "All right, I'll drive you out there. My name's Deacon."
Deacon, I'm Levi. It's mighty kind of you.
Yeah, no problem. So everybody loads up in the UTV and straps on in. It looks nothing special. It looks like a UTV from the 21st centuries. I mean, some technology doesn't change. Maybe the heads-up display is maybe a bit more advanced, but honestly, not that much changed, you know. But anyways, so you guys kind of haul ass there, and then you get to a farm. I mean, it looks a bit more advanced. Obviously, the garages are a bit more advanced. Inside, instead of seeing tractors, you see drone rigs if you went inside the garage. But other than that, it looks like a house. But you kind of the screen door opens, and because they'd have screen doors to keep out bugs, and but anyway, so the screen door opens and Mary Jo steps outside and kind of covers her eyes and kind of block out the sun, and you see a woman in her late 30s. She's probably in her early 40s, and she says, "Come on in. I've got food waiting. They told me you were coming."
Well, howdy, ma'am. That's the best news I've heard in weeks.
I'm just kind of hanging out in the back, not really even saying anything.
But do you all disembark?
Yes.
All right. So once inside, you see her. You see her youngest son Ben, and she's in the kitchen, kind of setting the table. Well, actually, her youngest son Ben's probably doing most of the setting the table, and then you see another person at the table. Why don't you describe your character? Thank you for the follow, Cynics. And you see another person at the table. Why don't you describe your character, Jason? Why don't you describe Dr. Jack Breach?
Jack's a grizzled man. He's thin, slender. He's taller, maybe 6 foot even, maybe a little shorter. He might lie about his height sometimes. But he's got like a square, triangular jaw, a white, seasoned beard, and he wears kind of a roughed up suit, just formal clothing. It's a little dirty, torn in some places.
Very cool. And you're sitting at the table, maybe waiting for the food to get laid out and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course, I'd be helping her young one.
Helping Ben. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so helping the teenager lay the table out, and so Mary Jo starts laying the table out, so all the food gets laid out, and it's if you ever had like a Southern breakfast, you're familiar with what it is. It's like biscuits, gravy, that sort of thing. So it's good eating, and so she hasn't come over to like start talking yet until everybody sits and starts eating. And she says, so I know this is quite a weird situation, just to show up at a person's house and be served food. But I wanted to show you that I really need the help. And also that I wanted to show my kindness first and foremost. There's 2 crates on your vessel. 2 crates on your vessel that I'd like to take off your hands. Now I know you guys are doing humanitarian aid, but the truth is almost all that's going to end up going to the military or the big farms or the food processing center. The farms owned by the corporations. You can just get a crate of medicines and a crate of repair parts over to people like me. And I'll spread it out through the individually owned farms. We'd appreciate it immensely. Because nothing's going to be left over after the government and the corporate farms take everything else. And to show my appreciation for at least meeting me and hearing me out, I also have someone here who could use your help, and I'm sure he'd be willing to pay to hitch a ride with you. Or at least offer his services in some way. And then she kind of motions over to you.
What the lady's trying to say is she wants to trade this doctor for a couple of crates of medicine.
How many crates of all of that stuff did we bring?
It's quite a few.
Okay.
Yeah, it's plenty.
All of you know, though, there's a lot of truth to what she says about the humanitarian aid being one-sided here. I've been on stage this planet for a couple weeks now, and the nicer folk, the more hospitable, not associated with the big corporation, they're definitely set aside. They're struggling just as anyone else would be in a lesser-known world.
Well, I don't know if I speak for everybody else, but we sure could have used a doctor the other day when some asshole, bad guy, sorry, ma'am, type. I was bleeding like a stuck pig, as I believe the term is. It was bad. You want to see the scar?
Is this going to turn into like a Southern space game?
Can everyone do the whistle? Can anyone do the whistle?
Just because I did a backwoods, a space like setting, and then like we brought a cowboy.
He doesn't talk like that. He just thinks everybody here does. So he's trying to
okay. No, actually, this is actually most of the people here are actually look like they're from like the Mediterranean or something.
Hmm.
Like she just is out of character to that. So
Yeah. Yeah. He thinks
yeah.
they're all Hicks because he grew up on a very industrialized world.
Oh yeah, yeah. It looks very different
So
than that.
he
That's for sure.
thinks they're all just Hicks. So
It's a bunch of damn rednecks.
yeah, begging the park.
Well, I think if that's the best way of getting the medicine and supplies to people, if it won't be missed by the corporations, I don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
I don't personally care. Nobody's going to yell at me if it goes missing, so I don't give a shit.
Jack Breacher lets out like a sigh of relief. He looks at Mary Jo and like you'd see on his face that he's happy to hear this news. I can't tell you what this means to me, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right. And she says,
While we're
"Well,"
here.
she says real quickly. She says, and as she's bringing out some tea and pour some, probably coffee. She starts pouring some coffee. And everybody says, she says, "Well, glad we worked that out." She says, "Well, my men have actually already taken the crates and set them aside, so the drones wouldn't take them back to the facility. Of course, we weren't going to take them from you, but we didn't want them to get blamed. So that's good to hear. So, but thank you for working with me, and but continue on with your meal, and so she just kind of begins small talking with you at that point, and you guys, of course, can continue your role play. Real quickly, I want to go to Aston real quick though, and say that your character, you get to the Griffin Explorer, and you see that the ship is being unloaded, but you don't see any of the crew there at the moment. You see like 4 guys in Tyvek suits, like unloading. They look like they're in Tyvek suits, and they're wearing respirators on their face, and they're just pulling crates off with like these wheeled. Some are wheeled, some are grav lifts, and they're just trying to get all these materials off the ship. And they one of them stops and looks at you and says, "Can I help you?"
So before the dialogue engages, would he be able to, either with notice or academics, be able to tell what was in the crates just based off of face value?
Maybe based on the markings and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Academics, yeah, sure, maybe. Yeah, on one of them specifically, maybe. Yeah, I'll say one of them. You can tell that it comes from most of the materials comes from a corporation that's well known in this region, and it looks like you're betting they're machinery parts.
Okay. And the ship itself, what condition is it in?
Oh, it's not in good condition at all.
Okay.
It's flyable, but it definitely needs major armor work done.
Get the Kessel run in 5 parsecs.
So
Is the term Swiss
But it is
cheese
flyable.
accurate?
It is flyable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of just stopped for a second. Oh, I apologize. I'm not trying to intrude on what you're doing here. I just noticed the machine parts and this ship, and was actually just quite curious if you knew who the pilot or the captain was of this vessel.
He says, the funny thing is they didn't have a pilot. They didn't have a captain, but which I thought was strange as hell. But the pilot though was an elderly fellow. With a cowboy hat. You can't miss him, to be honest. It was quite strange. But yeah, they went towards Mary Jo's, just head off towards the west there. Just start walking between those two grub fields there. You'll get there.
Is there any mode of transportation I might be able to appropriate for getting there without needing to walk?
He says, yeah, you can take our UTV. We shouldn't need it for about another hour.
Oh, perfect.
Just bring it back
I
for me,
appreciate
all right?
your hospitality. Thank you.
Yeah. He says, it's a nice ship, though, ain't it? I mean, well, besides all the damage. And you look it over, and it is a fine craft. It's a very modern design. It's just if you look past all the major damage, you know.
Yeah, my guy has absolutely no knowledge of what's nice about a ship. He just knows that they fly and he wants off. So he's like, oh, yes, it's absolutely stunning. And you said it flies, right?
Looks like it'll fly. Yeah.
Perfect. That is excellent. And I will not take any more of your time. You have important things to do. I know if these parts don't get delivered, then the director will be quite upset. So I bid you adieu and thank you again for the information.
He kind of nods.
And he hops on the ATV and heads off in that direction.
All right. Cool.
Don't make me do a vehicle check, though.
No, no. Vehicle checks are not for anything unless you're in kind of a climactic
So on our way
situation.
back from Mary Jo's, we encounter a pompous fella fixing a...
With a
No,
flipped ATV.
I'll say you guys are still eating. So if you guys
So
have
I
any
had a
role
question
play you
about
wanna
that.
do
Is
there.
this food made from the grub materials, or is this
Nope.
like real,
Nope, this is
real
real.
food? Oh man, thank goodness. I was
No,
getting
this is
sick
real.
of eating that.
This is real. No, this is real stuff. This is the good stuff. So, all right. And so any more discussion you guys wanted to have? Maybe ask questions from maybe him while you're at dinner. Or dinner, breakfast.
For Mary Jo and specifically, or
Either one.
oh man, be a good one. I guess Mary Jo, I just can't thank you enough for setting up this meet and trusting me. You know, I know some of these pilots come through can be rough type, but I believe there's some good folk out there. How long have you been dealing with the light support from the government or the corporations?
Oh, it's all the time for us smaller farms. They always support the bigger corporate farms, and they always get snatched up if they have a good harvest. But us, we don't have a good harvest, then for a good couple of years, then it takes away our chance of getting grabbed by a corporation. But I refuse to sell anyways. So, but it usually works out for me. But times like this, it definitely doesn't pay off.
So these, you don't mind my asking, these insects that you guys are harvesting, grubs, how are we in any danger of being here? We saw somebody get attacked on our way in.
He says attacked. A drone malfunction, I guess.
Look like it.
Well, I mean, there's always danger in it. I mean, the grubs can be dangerous, but I mean, no more dangerous than a lot of other jobs out there. But
They all seem to attack this guy at once. Do they have a hive mind?
oh, the grubs. Oh, well, they were probably the what's called the middle layer insects, middle layer grubs. So it's hard to explain how they feed. Okay, so the way we feed the grubs is we have special drones that spray feed down on top of them. And the problem is with the spraying process is that the top grubs get all the good food, and the middle grubs don't get fed anything except for the grubs on the bottom who die. And they eat the grubs on the bottom who die. So that's all they get to eat. And so the drone was probably scooping the middle grubs. And so they were probably half starved. And when the drone malfunctioned, they probably just started going after the guy. So,
Okay.
yeah. Fortunately, that's just the nature of the job. So, the grubs on the bottom layers die. They become food for the middle layers. And the grubs on top, they get treated the best and become the fattest. That's just how it goes.
Do any ever escape from the pits? Aren't there security measures to keep them inside?
Yeah, we spray the outer layers of the pits every so often with a sticky mixture to keep them from climbing out, and various pheromones to try to keep them out, to keep them from wanting to climb out. But you have to spray it every so often to keep them from. It fades away after time, and rain is the way that washes it away. We just have to keep an eye out when it's time to clean it. Sorry, respray it again.
Jack's been here long enough. Has he seen any other loose grubs? Have you ever seen one?
No.
All right.
So, on a different subject, we are obviously a humanitarian mission, but we were attacked on our way in by, I think you call them wolves. Have other ships been attacked lately? Do you know?
Well, there is a war going on, so Takis Defense Force is fighting the Ganavian military. So, and actually, that's a great time for the to hear a rap at the door. Cliff, you've arrived at the at the farm. So, and the teenage boy Ben goes over the door, and you see Aston. You see a boy of about teenage years open the door, and he's got a jumpsuit on, which is covered with black oil and stuff on the sleeves and on the waiter's level, and you can only imagine what that is, given what they do for a living. And he says, "Can I help you?"
Oh, hello, young master. I apologize for intruding, but my name is Sir Aston Charles Hatcher Courtney, heir to the Brax Courtney fortune, and I was hoping that I could have a moment of you and your company's time.
I love it how Cliff has to look at his character sheet to remember his name. I love it how he had to.
Day one, man, give me a break.
I'm just kidding, I'm killing you. And he says, it's a very long name, sir. Yes, sure, you can come on in. Mama, there's someone here to see us. I don't remember his name.
He's got a lot
Ashton
of
is fine, young master.
And so he kind of opens the door and kind of waves you in. And all of you see Aston come in. Why don't you describe your character at this point?
So Aston is a very posh and proper fellow. He has sort of a medium-length shagged hair, but it's kept in order, a nice stubble beard, piercing green eyes, and he is dressed to the nines in very expensive-looking threads, looking completely out of place from this entire area.
Yes. And unfortunately, now it's covered with the slight dusting of the gray dust that flies through the air from the safari, and a hint of speckles of black from God knows what.
From that ATV ride, yeah.
Yeah.
I apologize for intruding during the meal, but there is an urgent matter that I wish to discuss, and I was told from the gentleman working at unloading the ship that one of you here, and he sort of looks at the old gentleman with the cowboy hat, is the pilot of the vessel out there, the very nice arrowhead-looking ship.
Yes, that's me. Do we have a name for this ship? No? Check. We'll come back to that, because I would say what the name of the ship was.
Yeah.
I think we said earlier that the captain just called the AI core the Griffin. So
Cool.
I mean,
There we go.
But like, because it's a Griffin Explorer, but like,
Yeah.
but that's just because you guys didn't have a name for it yet. But that's up to you guys whether it has a name. Anyways,
Okay. Yeah, I'd fly that boat.
Well,
What you
first,
looking
good
for?
sir, she is a beauty. But I couldn't help but notice that she had taken some considerable damage upon entering.
Yeah, we were just discussing that we got attacked by wolves on our way in, wondering if it's just random pirates or something to do with the war or some other thing we ain't heard of.
Well, then, I would say that our meeting is quite fortuitous. Do you all mind if I have a seat with you?
I'm gonna look at Mary because it's not my table.
Yeah, same. Looking at Mary.
she just kind of nods and says, "Have a seat. I've got plenty of food to go around."
Thank you. And this food, it is not.
She shakes her head and says, "No, not at all. Not grubs."
I will gladly have a plate if you have one to spare. I have had nothing since I've been here because I refuse to eat whatever excrement they are growing in these fields.
She kind of smiles.
It appears that it will kill you, yes.
She says, "Oh, hun, you've eaten it before."
Do I know like how widespread all of this grub protein stuff goes?
Probably not, Levi, because you're from Palisadia and you've probably never eaten it before in your life.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, you have, probably, since you're from Astra Unum, and you've worked with Astra Unum for the last few years. You probably have
we get
eaten it.
MREs, right?
Yeah, you've eaten them, man. Yeah, if you're storing them on the ship, then Spencer's been eating it all his fucking life.
Oh,
No
God.
wonder you're short.
I know that, though, right?
So you guys
Probably
mentioned you
not.
had some trouble on the ship, not just assaults from other vessels.
Yeah, they assaulted us and boarded and killed our doctor with a bloody pipe. And then
That's right.
I don't know exactly what happened. Something, I think they shot. What happened, Arthur, in the cockpit? For the captain got sucked out, right?
Yeah, so we got fired on, and the captain was just opening the door for me. He got sucked out, and I didn't because the blast windows closed just in time. So it was not a good situation.
I'm gonna look to Mary Jo with like this look of a little bit of worry.
She says, "You wanted off this planet."
At least they're not smugglers. You're not smugglers, are you?
Not all of us.
Did have somebody sneak aboard. Speaking of which, are you, he looks at the lady, are you looking for a foster child? This one, and he points to Spencer, is apparently running from a bad situation back home.
Are you trying to give away our cook already?
Oh, is he going to cook for us? Okay.
She says, "I could always use another farmhand."
Like, ma'am, let me assure you, I'm terrible at manual labor.
Oh, come on now. You're young.
Like, it's not funny, guys. Like, really worried because apparently we're on the only ship on this planet. And he's going to fill up, and he's going to be the one that, like, nobody wants.
You're on, like, the only, like, non-military vessel. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, how many rooms do we have on this ship? Like,
Well, the
4.
only non-military vessel that's, like, not a smuggler.
Oh, okay.
So when I seen the identification on this crate that they were carrying, you said that I would recognize the corporation. Would this be the one that is sending them here?
Sorry, say that again.
You said that I noticed that on the crate that they were unloading that there was the identification of a corporation on the machine parts.
Yes.
And is that the one that sent them? Like, would I be able to deduce that like it's not like they just hand off their merchandise to just anybody?
You thank you for the bits, Rob. Appreciate that, man. The corporation that was on the side here was one of the biggest corporations in ILAR, and if they were sent here by that big corporation, these guys are big wig pilots. This crew is big wig pilots. So the crate on there that has the corporation name on the side, if they sent them, they're a big wig crew that you're about to ship with. Does that make sense?
And what's the name of that corporation?
Well, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
I will say.
Somebody's taking notes.
I will say. Cyberkinetic. There you go. Cyberkinetic.
So
They do drone
as
reports.
Aston is eating with a fork and a knife and bite by bite, he pauses and he says, "So I couldn't help but notice that you were carrying cyberkinetic gear, which is quite ironic because I too am from Ilar, and the reason that I came is I am actually in a rather desperate situation that I need off this planet. And I wouldn't ask you to do this for free. My family is quite wealthy, and I'd be able to pay you if you can get me back to them. But I have a sudden need for a escape from this planet."
You and everybody else, it seems.
Yes, but not everybody has the same connections that I do, and not everyone has a ship, which you do.
We didn't have another mission to do, like, for Astra, right? It was
Negative.
just come out here. Okay.
Arthur, to answer your question earlier, the ship is pretty damaged, and it will take time to repair.
You kind of answered it
Okay.
just a few minutes ago.
Is there a sense motive type skill?
It'd just be notice.
Just notice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be sitting in the corner. I'm kind of curious as to why he needs to leave so quickly. Sounds kind of fishy.
Sure. Make a notice roll.
I'll notice. See if I.
Can I challenge with persuasion?
Would it be persuasion? Are you hiding it?
If
it's hiding,
no,
it'd
everything
be-
that I've said so far has been 100% truth.
Okay, persuasion. Then yeah.
Well,
You
you're on
haven't
the
said
run.
anything except I want to leave and I have money.
Exactly. Everything about that is true.
Yeah. He's trying to prove his sincerity. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'm with you.
No, yeah, he seems very sincere. The only thing I will say is that it seems like his motives
Mhm.
are, given that with your notice skill, given his garb, given that his demeanor, given everything about him, he just seems so completely at odds with his environment. You just imagine that, and at odds with, like, say, someone like you.
Mhm.
He just does not want to fucking be here because he doesn't belong here. I
Okay.
imagine.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Because he
He's
said
screaming on the inside.
Yeah, because he said he's from Ilar, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go," and I'm just like,
You imagine that he's from a different place in Ilar, as far as the
Okay.
social caste. Like,
okay.
you're from the
He's just
bottom, he's from the
paranoid.
top, of
It's
the social
probably
caste.
nothing. It's just Spencer's very paranoid about
Jack Breacher will kind of sit forward, put his fork down for a second. Well, since we're airing the laundry, and since you fellows have been pretty honest with us about how you got here and the troubles you've had, I feel like I should be transparent too. The reason I'm on off this rock is because there's a group here, smugglers that I came in with that are a little bit rougher than I had hoped. They brought me on as a searcher for them, keep the crew patched up and in running shape. But I don't really want any part of that crowd. If you all aren't up for the task of getting me off of here and maybe drawing some ire, I understand. Then I'll go back to Eden.
Well, at present, we've got a little downtime. Well, down on planet side time because we need to fill some holes in our boat. So until we get some of that patched up, I don't know that we're going to really go anywhere unless something forces us.
And is there anything immediately stopping you from getting your ship in working order?
Finishing breakfast, maybe?
That seems like as good of reason as any to me. As he cuts another piece.
Nice.
I would like to purposely start using my hands more and take another biscuit and dip it in the gravy and stuff.
Noted.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to stuff myself. I feel like we deserve this, especially for giving them medical supplies.
Quick question about the former captain. Like, oh, never mind. I answered myself. I would have already written a letter or whatever you do in the future to his family, sort of thing.
Send a video message to his wife.
Yeah, that sort of stuff, and send a thing to the Astra Unum boss guy. Be like, oh, he's gone, so I guess I'm taking over because I can drive.
You see, aren't even going to discuss it? Going to be like, okay.
Well, no, I mean from between me and Matt or me and Arthur, it's like we're the only two that were officially
originally, yeah. Astra Unum.
Jeremy's all like, I'm the captain.
I mean, he's right though. Yeah, the other one was a kid, and y'all were the only ones that were employees. Yeah,
he's
that's
like,
true. Makes sense, story wise.
Say I'm the captain.
Nice.
You're the captain.
I've ended up as the leader of this group too many times, with completely different people in and characters. Anyway,
yes,
don't let us
I
down.
will add it to the overlay. I will add Captain Levi Roosevelt next session.
Sweet.
All right.
We need to get a second ship so I can be a Commodore, Admiral?
Yes.
An Admiral, yeah.
Yes. Admiral. Nice. Okay. So real quickly, actually, I should have talked about this at the beginning of the game. I apologize for that. So I've reset everyone's adventure cards. I've already spoken to the new players about adventure cards. So you all have adventure cards now. You all have your minis reset. So everybody's got minis. We've only rolled 3 dice, but everybody should be squared away on that front. And so guys, spill them out there. We only got 2 hours left in this game, so use them. So, and it's a great time to actually go to our first break real quick. We're about an hour in, so actually we'll take our first break at 9:30.
Whoa, that was an hour?
We'll do one break actually tonight. We'll just do one about halfway through. And so if there's anything else more to say, then I'll continue this scene. If not, y'all just want to say breakfast is done and then you guys are out the door?
Arthur would want to find out what these grubs eat. How do they keep them alive?
Oh, they spray that food down on them. It's like it's kind of like a kibble mixture. They specifically make for them, and it's made in a round chemical mixture. That way, when it falls out and sprays out, it can bounce down in between the insects and go down to as many layers as possible, and get down as far as it can. But unfortunately, it doesn't go down there really well, and that's what they feed them. So
And they eat each other too, the ones that
yeah,
die,
the ones,
right? Yeah.
yeah. So
Delicious.
yeah, I know.
Disgusting.
No, that's the future, man. Future.
Soylent
Torch,
Green
thank you for following.
people.
I know.
And so Aston would, he would bring it back up to try to get a solid answer from this group if they would be willing to assist him with getting off.
Oh yeah, that's right. We never got a solid answer.
I am going to completely leave it as a non-solid answer for now.
Okay.
Like actively avoiding either saying that for either you and the doctor, and just be like, with the attitude of, well, I don't know, if they end up on the ship, I guess they're going to work or pay or something. But that's the attitude I've got.
Can't be a captain without a crew.
Okay, so maybe Aston needs to flash around the money.
Yeah. Not at this moment, though. Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that might be your tool to convince them. Yeah. Okay. So she finishes up breakfast and starts kind of grabbing everybody's plates and just starts washing up, and as they say in the South, and
I believe there's an R in that word.
Yeah, washing.
Thank you, Mary Jo.
That's right.
My kind.
She says, "Well, thank you so much, Levi, and we'll have those crates, and I'll make sure that all those supplies get handed out to the farms, and of course, I hope you're able to get your ship repaired. So best of luck to you, and I just but this will help us immensely. So unfortunately, I have to get back to work. Unfortunately, so."
Well, thank you for welcoming me in and for this delicious meal. This is the best I've had in feels like weeks.
Thank you again, Mary Jo. Really, if you ever need anything, you just reach out.
I will. I'm sure you'll be on the planet side for days during repairs. So feel free to find me again.
See, gentlemen, just like how you get pushed to the wayside for the military ships, the people here get pushed to the wayside in terms of supplies and medical equipment.
I'm used to that.
All right.
Yeah.
So then you all find yourselves outside, and then her and her sons are outside working the farm. All right. So where do we see you guys go?
Dr. Breach would probably just follow suit, keep his mouth shut, and observe.
So Aston's gonna approach Levi, and I do understand that you have every right to be suspicious of me and dubious of this encounter, but if you have the room on your ship, as I said, I will make sure that you are rewarded for my departure. Here is my comlink information. I will be back at the station. If it is something that you can do, please let me know. If there's anything that I can assist with making this little engagement go faster, maybe expedite the repairs on your ship. I happen to know the director, and I could put in a word for you. As I said, the Courtney family, where our roots run deep, as they say. So please consider it and reach out to me if you need anything. And he reaches out to shake his hand.
I'll shake his hand. That's mighty nice. We got to look over the ship and see how much we really need to repair, see what kind of help we got to get. So I may ask you about that in a little while.
The offer is definitely extended. And to the rest of you, I appreciate your time and your courtesy, and I hope you're the best on this planet. And he hops in his little ATV and heads back towards.
Yeah.
Just got to give that con feller his ATV back.
Yep. Yeah, you're getting close to an hour. All right.
All right, gentlemen. So shall we go have a look at this vessel
Yes.
of yours?
So,
All right. Cool.
Any objections? Okay.
All right. So both of you, all of you get back to the ship. Of course, that's Aston gets back to the ship just to deliver the UTV, and then you guys get back to your ship to ascertain the damages. And so it looks like you're gonna have. So you guys took a lot of damage just to mostly your significant amount of armor. You still do not have artificial gravity. You guys were floating around for 10 days while in orbit. While you were traveling through the TACA system. And that's the situation. I'm trying to think of other systems that would be down. I think it's your big things. You're just really at risk to taking. You're at risk to taking damage, because of the armor, hull damage, basically. In game
Would
terms.
Captain Levi relay the damages to the crew? Maybe like give us a little tour, kind of show us where our bunks are, things like that, or would he keep us off the ship till?
He's that he would not give you a tour or whatnot. He would just start going around the ship because he is not in the mindset of being a captain. He's still just the guy who drives and is like, oh crap, somebody has to figure out what's broke.
So I guess I'm kind of following you through the hallways and the bays, and I notice you're not saying anything, and we're just walking.
Yeah.
And I notice you, and I'm like, oh, the hospital. What do you call it?
Hospital bay?
Yeah, that hospital bay is down there. Take a right, whatever. Computers make the light on the floor or something. I don't know. However I know how to tell him to get there. I'll tell him how to get there.
Yeah.
I'll be like, well, shit, computer, where's my bed?
The computer
Yeah,
doesn't answer.
I'll just kind of
doesn't
walk
answer.
him around the ship,
All right.
because
So
I'm just like,
is there any way,
Hey,
could I make an electronics roll or anything? Take a look at their gravity stuff? Like, see if I can't
all
do anything
the
about
all
it,
the
or-
rooms have a computer console at the doors,
Yeah.
so you make an electronics roll.
Let's see if I can't do anything about it. I'm gonna try. I'll try once. We'll see what we get. So I'm gonna go on my character sheet here, do a trait roll for electronics. Popper, come on. Oh,
Yeah.
oh boy. All right.
Okay, you've pulled up schematics and diagnostics and stuff of the systems. You've figured out all the work that needs to be repaired. You cannot make the repairs without replacement parts.
But now I know, so if someone tries to pull one over on them and I hear about it, I could be like, hey, no.
Yes, you know exactly what needs to be repaired, and so no one can pull a wool over you about like lie to you about repair work. So
You knew,
yeah, and as far as Arthur, Matt, you're gonna access the computer and start working on repairing systems.
yeah, but I mean, I guess he already.
Well, you like I said, all the stuff is gonna need physical repair work, like replacing parts. So, yeah. So we're talking like
you
outer
guys
hull
really did take
damage.
some damage here. I mean,
Yeah.
this would require like heavy equipment, a couple lifts. This is rough.
This is Tuesday.
Who the hell did you piss off?
I'd like to know, but we'll deal with that later, I suppose.
Understood.
You even know where the mechanic is around here?
Actually, Jack's been on. He's been here not too long, but maybe he might know. Would that be? What do you want me to roll? Can I roll for that, or?
Like who to get repairs from?
Yeah, who's like a reputable guy. So I don't want to go to the first Joe. I'm hoping Jack maybe might know like who's a good person.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sure. I guess common knowledge would be that skill.
Alrighty.
I'll say since you've been here a while, no penalties. So,
Oh,
All right,
Tan.
good deal. All right, so yeah, in Hawkins, which is the wait, Hawkins is the town in Stranger Things. No, I'm not calling it that. We'll call it it's Redmond. The town is Redmond. I just realized that. I was like,
Hmm. I think I might know a guy in Redmond. Ran into him with the smugglers. He refused to service him. Seemed like an all right guy. You guys, make nice with him. He might be able to help you out.
That sounds great.
How far is Redmond? Is that a ways away? Or is it skip and a hop? Or
Redmond is
You just go that way through these two grub fields.
yeah, it's
It's just past
not
the
that
next
it's
shed.
not that wrong. It's about 5 miles south.
all right, I relay that information to Jeremy or Jeremy's character. Or Levi.
Jeremy, you look under your currency tab.
Oh God.
You should see
Check.
some stuff.
Yeah,
You
the
should
fuel,
see
the
fuel,
stores, and the ship.
stores, and ship. So stores is food. These are tracked in days. Fuel and ship payment. That's when the ship payment is due in days. All right.
Cool.
Okay. Anyways.
So, while separate from the group, would I be able to ascertain information on the smugglers that the doctor was talking about?
Sure. Sure.
And what type of information would be available for free to cheap?
Free and cheap. Okay. Well, first, you've been in town for a while, so you can common knowledge roll, first off, to see what you know just offhand, just from being here. Okay, so
Not
you
a whole
haven't.
lot.
Yeah, you've heard there's smugglers in town. That's all you know. But as far as free and cheap, that'll be determined by a persuasion roll. So persuasion would be like if you just asked around, that'd be persuasion. If you wanted to find another way, you could just like go for the next giant ship. That's literally how easy it is. Because this area is basically just flat land for miles and miles and miles. You could just like get on the tallest object and look around and look for the biggest ship that's non-military and just start walking towards it. And that's probably the smuggler's ship. If you want to confront them, that is.
So would through the connections through Mr. Meredith?
Oh, you have the connections. Edge, don't you?
Well, I'm just saying that through them, is there anybody within that circle that I could probably get more reliable information on and put myself in a less immediate danger?
Yeah, you can use a persuasion skill. Sure.
Okay.
Let's roll persuasion.
Let's do that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you go around. You go back to the area and back into Redmond, where a lot of that kind of business is done, and you go back to Mr. Maris, and you speak to his assistant, who you spoke to, and you got along well as assistant. You always have, and although you decided kind of smartly to not speak to Maris again, because even though he did agree to a contract, you kind of felt like it was kind of it didn't go that well, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so his assistant agreed to speak with you again, and he tells you he says yeah there are smugglers here. Yeah, everybody in town's been talking about them. Can't believe you haven't heard about them, man. So,
you know me, I choose to stay to myself and do what I came to do. But I did happen upon some information, eavesdropping and what will you, and I heard that they may have lost a doctor.
he says,
Have you heard anything about that?
He says, yeah, I did hear about that. I heard one of them. I heard he took off. I heard I had some guys get shot up, and he didn't like how things went down afterwards, and patched some of them up kind of poorly, and then he escaped in the night. But yeah, I heard they were connected to that big criminal syndicate in Ilar. I don't know the name of them though, but yeah, they're
And
kind of
has there been any murmur on how many of them are here?
I think there's at least 12 or so of them.
And
They got a big cargo ship parked out on the north side of town, north side of Redmond.
and have you heard any rumors, whispers, if you will, of any of them that may be more diplomatic than others?
Man, oh geez, diplomatic. Oh man, look, there's been one hanging out. There's been one hanging out at Eagles. You know the tavern in town, Eagles.
Yes.
Yeah, one hanging out there. Goes by Matish.
Matish, eh?
Yeah, he's probably the friendliest, I guess, of the group. But you know, he's the only one that hasn't started a barroom brawl this week in there.
Well, every group needs some sort of face to speak to somebody when they get in town, so I assume this is him.
All right. Okay. All right.
And would I be able to transfer like 10 credits to him for this?
Yeah, it's below the wealth minimum need for wealth roll. So sure.
So I transferred over, and yeah, I've always liked you, and I will put in good word for you as soon as I get back in your boss's good graces.
He says, well, thanks. You know, I'm always putting in a good word for you. So
And I appreciate that. Thank you.
he says, best of luck, but I don't know why you're even bothering with these smugglers.
You know, I question myself on these motives sometimes.
Hey, as you start to turn away, he says, hey, are you that desperate to get off the planet?
Have you smelled it outside? How do you stand being here?
You stay here long enough, man. You get used to it. All right?
No. You know what you get used to? You get used to a comfortable bed. You get used to 3 meals a day that are not made from whatever the fuck that is.
He just kind of shakes his head and he just kind of says, yeah, you'll get used to a broken nose too if you go find Matish. So,
and if things go to scuffle, then things will go to scuffle. That's not how I hope for this engagement to resolve itself, but you don't poke your nose around without noting how to parlay.
We get in a fight, your character better yell, "To scuffle!"
He says,
Fisticuffs.
He says, all right.
I will have no idea what he means.
But I did warn you. And then he turns to leave. So
I appreciate the warning, and I did not get this information from here, and we did not speak.
All right. So real quickly jumping over to Spencer real quick. So what is Spencer doing?
So I do have a small repair skill, D4.
Yeah.
I'm more or less just trying to assist everybody else, just
Okay.
like handing them like wrenches and shit, and like being like, "Hey man, that's broken." You know, but he's basically just being a teenager. Like, I'd rather be sitting on my ass reading comic books than like helping.
Right.
He's doing enough to help, but not enough to be like super useful. He's basically doing enough to keep his job.
Nice. Trying not to get left at the farm. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So both you and Matt are making repairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both you and Arthur. Is that what I'm getting? Okay.
I would
Yeah.
like to help unless there's something else that I should be doing.
Jack Breacher walks in. He's like, "So are we headed to Redmond to see about these repairs or not?"
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody
have
on
a-
the ship.
Everybody on the ship?
I gotta say, are we flying the ship over there? Oh yeah, it's 5 miles. I guess we.
Yeah, I don't feel like actually we do
We have
have
that landing
shuttle.
pod, right?
Right.
I don't know if that shuttle in your bay there works, but if we can not risk spooling this baby up, maybe blowing another, breaker, that'd be ideal. After that assessment I did earlier, it's definitely on the brink.
So hold on. I'm
Okay.
confused then. I thought there were people already making repairs. So is everybody making... Are there 2 people making repairs, or is everybody going down? I just want to know before we go to our first break.
Did we get materials to make repairs?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some repairs that you could do now, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to do
Okay.
everything. So, but it'd probably be a good idea to go ahead and go into town and first and try to get everything you need if you want to do that. So,
Okay, that makes sense.
all right,
Yeah.
I'll round us all up, take us to the shuttle.
round us all up.
Yeah.
Oh, and y'all are gonna take
All
the
right.
landing shuttle. Got it.
Yeah, unless there's something we already know is going to be too big to bring back in the landing shuttle.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Okay, gotcha.
Because we might be just negotiating the guy to come out with his crew. I mean, they might have some, vehicle or something. They'll drive out with their crew, like a wrecker or something. I don't know.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Service.
we will. All right. So we'll take our first break here at this point, where we know where everybody's going to go, and then we'll be right back, everybody. So we're going to take a short break. Everyone, thank you for joining us. We shouldn't be gone long. Just a short break. So once again, thank you everybody for joining us. We'll be right back.